Edwardian is the last way to describe the item that's coming up next.
Here we come, walking down the street. We get the funniest looks from everyone we meet. Hey, we're the Monkees, and people say we monkey around, but we're too busy singing to put anybody down.
For the benefit of the three people in the audience who don't know what it's all about, it's about the Monkees. 4 young men who flew into London to perform in this country for the first time. Mickey, Davy, Peter and Mike, just arrived from Paris.
And people say we monkey around, but we're too busy singing to put anybody down.
Scenes reminiscent of Beatlemania. Thousands of kids going crazy to get near them. I think they've all gone monkey nuts.
We've got something to say. Or anywhere, just look over your shoulder, the superstar man. Hey, we're the Monkees, people say we monkey around, we're too busy singing to put anybody down. People say we monkey around, but we're too busy singing to put anybody down. Go where we want to, do what
Survivors of the battle proceed to Kensington and the Monkey House. Hope the management will excuse the expression.
Hey, we're the Monkees, and people say we monkey around, but we're too busy singing.
So to the press conference. One of the Monkees already speaks our language, Manchester's Davy Jones.
Sing and play, we're the young generation, and we've got something to say.
They were asked how much they earned after taxes.
I clear about 3 and a tenner, 4 bob, and how much do we put?
3 and a tenner, 4 bob.
He doesn't know what that means. No, we make
No, we have no
quite
way
a
of
bit of
knowing.
money. But me personally, most of my money goes in taxes to support all kinds of top American officials.
I intend to stay in entertainment. I intend to stay in some field of entertainment. I'd like to get into production and movies and records and shows, and I'm making films, and I'm making candle holders on my lathe.
We asked them if they take drugs.
Not yet,
Coffee.
not yet.
I drink coffee. That's about the worst drug that I take.
I took aspirin once.
We
Destroyed my head, and it provided me with a lot of inspiration, too. I'm going to write a song in the next... called,
I have a real problem that I get high on one-a-day vitamins, you know? So anything else really wastes me.
I drink chlorine with a Drano back.
X-Lax does it to me. He gets upset easy, you know.
Now here my...
If you've been looking for the Monkees, we've got them right here, and basically they're here to talk about a movie that I was very much surprised because I didn't know who the main people were or what it's all about. A movie called Head that's starting to take the whole country by storm. And with us also is a fellow DJ, a fellow by the name of Long John Wade.
Long John, yay!
Yay! Don't overdo it.
No, I've got his name all over my trunk. Long John travels all over the country with me, all over the world. I got his Long John right down my trunk.
You wear him or you've got his Long John in your trunk?
No, I've got those flying from the top of my house, his Long Johns, you see.
He happens to be basically a very nice person, but...
Excuse me. Yes, you're blocking his camera angle.
Oh, excuse me, I didn't want to. Do I have his best side, at least?
Both camera angles.
Any side's his best side.
Come in, John. Have a look at the camera.
Have you seen the movie yet?
Can I get my
No,
head
I'd
in
like
here?
to hear more about it.
Head,
There's
yeah,
another
that's
plug for the
it.
movie.
Good.
John wants to get his head in here.
Will somebody fill me in on the movie?
It's kind of like a collage, I think.
Mickey
It's,
says
It's like a collage. It's not quite like our TV show. It's a little more serious in places and a lot funnier in places. And
Do you play serious parts in this at all?
we kind of play ourselves.
I think, yeah.
Mostly, more than we have before.
Well, the Monkees basically, when you say you play yourselves, are the Monkees basically considered always putting on, cutting up? Would you be doing this in the picture, or you?
No, not much of that. We had a chance to get into a little dramatics, you know, at times, and to portray ourselves a little bit.
Real life selves.
Rather than just running around.
You know, there's like cutting up and stuff on it, but it's not in the same way that we do it on the television show. I mean, we do that really alive, you know, like in person, but we do it differently than the way you saw us do it on the television show, because that was like a year ago. The movie is now, you know, and I think maybe we're putting some people on, but it's different.
We have Victor Matures in the movie, and Annette Funicello,
Sonny
and
Liston.
Ray Nitschke, Carol Doda. We have a lot of losers in the movie, you know what I mean? But it's
Except Ray Nitschke.
no, Ray Nitschke. He's pretty. He's a nice guy.
He's also a lot bigger than
Yeah,
me.
he's very big. We take little bits out of different movies, like we have a little war sequence, and we have a western sequence, and we have a fight sequence, and we have
A sequence?
a sequence.
And a pontifical sequence.
Yeah, there's all kinds of different things. You know, like, different people are going to get different things out of the movie. I think the kids are going to get maybe monkey TV time out of the movie, but the adults will see it much differently, and I think young adults will see it much differently than the adults or the little ones.
The most fun was the character assassination.
What's that all about?
Well, you have to see the movie for that to make any sense, but just keep that in mind. You know, we had a lot of fun at the Monkees' expense.
Tell me about the Monkees as far as your music is concerned. Are you going in deeper into an electric bag? Or are you going to stay into the typical sound that you have now?
We're going back to the roots.
We all four have. Each of us has an individual road, an individual path that we're all been trapped back. Good word. Bag. And we're expounding on those as much as we can individually. There's no group sound. There hardly ever was, really.
Never was.
There never was.
Yeah,
there never was.
There is a group sound, but it always, you know, was, you could only hear it at concerts, you know, because we never really, except maybe Headquarters, which was, you know, the album that we all just sat down and played on. But concerts were mostly what we really sound like, you know, because in the studio and Headquarters and worrying about transition at that time and everything, we maybe pulled a few of the punches that we would. But I think, you know, to a man, we're all of us kind of up to here with, you know, screaming loud psychedelic stuff, you know. I mean, not that it doesn't have its place, because I sit and do that number too. And Jimi Hendrix, you know, is the greatest living guitar player that I know. I mean, rock and roll guitarist. But you just, I mean, that's not what we do, you know. And I think what we're going to do is just, our next album, after the soundtrack album, is going to be a little more representative of the four of us.
It's going to be a double album where we'll each have a side where we produce our own particular sounds, whatever. I'm kind of into electronic music. I have a Moog synthesizer.
Microtonal fantasy.
I'm basically what you call an AM dropout. I've been an AM disc jockey, I guess, for about 10 years, and now we've dropped into an underground of progressive sound. What's everybody doing?
Means we don't have much time left. We've got to hurry up and get out of here because we've got
We gotta get an airplane. Okay.
In conclusion, as we were saying, we like Monkees. As far as the future is concerned, you're basically going into an electric bag. The movie
No, I am.
you're going into. In other words, you feud with each
I'm a
other.
Broadway rock. I like Broadway Feliciano time.
I'm going to hang around wrestling matches, you know, wrestling rings, so you can...
Mike's Country Western.
All right, the Monkees will be back shortly, friends. They're going to get into their wrestling outfits, and we're going to have a double-team tag match. John Wade will be reffing the whole thing, and final things, we want him to give a good, clean fight and come out nice and friendly, right? What do you think?
It should be a very hairy thing.
There he is, plugging the movie again. Hair. See it.
Oh, head, you idiot.
Oh, head. Where? Okay, that's it.
All over the world.
Thank you.
Let's hear it for the Monkees. Come on.
You ready then? 1, 2, 3. I'm talking now, Bill, the itinerary of the Monkees on this tour. Do you have a rundown of that for us?
Yes, they'll be here this morning for about 3 hours, then they go on to Melbourne. Then from Melbourne back to Sydney, from Sydney to Brisbane, Brisbane to Adelaide, Adelaide back to Sydney to do 2 more shows. Incidentally, the tickets are going extremely well.
That's good.
Harry has a real packed house, and I'm sure he's as thrilled about this as we are at our theater.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Jeffrey, the master of description will now tell you all about the play.
Well, I think, Barry, let's move forward a little bit. As you can see, everyone at home, this is the Qantas jet that's bringing the Monkees in, and in a moment we'll probably have to stop talking because of the noise of these jets as it swings round. We'll stop now. Just listen. Well, the jet engines have quietened down, as you can probably gather, and it's peaceful, relatively speaking. There's hardly any cheering now. Everybody seems to have quietened off quite a bit. They're all leaning over the barriers, but the police are here on duty to make sure that it doesn't get out of hand. But in actual fact, it's been a very good crowd here this morning. The youngsters have all behaved themselves remarkably well. They've all been very cheerful, especially when you consider that so many of them have been here since last night or the early hours of this morning. They should come off fairly early in the piece, I think, and they should come down here and go straight into the customs shed. They'll have to go through...
I can't really see. I think it might be Davey first. It looks like it's the small one. From where we are, I'm not too sure. But there they are, the 4 Monkees, and look at the crowd going wild.
Well, that's Sydney's welcome to the Monkees. And in fact, 1 or 2 kids tried to jump over the barrier a moment or 2 ago, just as I think they got a bit carried away, but the police very smartly carried them back again. But it was all very pleasant, I think, and very happy. And as I've said before, they've been a very good crowd of youngsters here this morning. They behaved themselves remarkably well. And they just bubbled over for a moment or 2 when the Monkees first came down the steps of the aircraft. 1 or 2 tried to jump over the barriers, but there wasn't really any great problem here. But there is a surprisingly good crowd of them. We're going to try, if we can, to have a word with them if it's possible. I don't know whether the windows of the car will be up or not, but Barry Friedman's standing here with a Channel 7 thing, and we'll try and grab a word or 2 with them, either Barry or I, if we possibly can. Well, we've just been told, because we have some spies over there, that they're just about to get into the car, and the car will start on its cavalcade round the front. It may well be, of course, that once that happens, the cheers and the screams will be such that you won't be able to hear us. I'm sure that won't worry you too much. But let's take a look across towards the cars. The doors are open, and all we're waiting for are the Monkees. Barry, what sort of tour do you predict they're going to have here?
I think they're going to have a pretty big tour, Jeff. They'll have a lot of success. They've got a tremendous following, and after all, this is their first time in Australia. I think they're better known to the fans than the Beatles were to their fans by medium of the television series.